Howdy! In this video, we will be talking about programming. So, programming is really important in today's world. A lot of the digital technology we use is a result of a certain set of instructions given to the computer. And not only that, any future technology that we develop will more often than not be a result of programming. So, what is it? So, picture this. A programmer writes a certain set of instructions for a computer to interpret. So the language that the computer uses is called an interpreter or a compiler. So we're actually using compilers in class. So the pure data that we were working with, that is an example of a compiler. So using the compiler, the computer takes the set of instructions from the programmer and then executes a certain function. So, for example, what Professor Morris was doing in class, he was taking the compiler, that being pure data, and using it to create certain sounds using sine waves. Now, pure data is only one compiler. In fact, there's a variety of different compilers and languages that programmers use. So, as an engineering student myself, I'm required to learn Python, which is one of the most user-friendly languages that you can learn. So you can do a lot with Python, and in this example, I'll be showcasing how you can use Python to write chord progressions. Alright, so here's the program that I made using Python. This looks like a lot of information and a lot to take in. However, we'll break it down a piece at a time. So this is a program that when a user inputs a certain chord, it will then output a certain chord progression that goes along with this starting chord. So for this program, we will be using the major harmonic progression chord chart. So this chart is based off of music created in the Baroque and Classical period. So how this works is that the tonic is the resolution for all of these chords. So all these chords want to eventually resolve to the 1. So say you want to start with the 6th chord. So what that means is that you're going to go from the 6th chord to either the 4 or the 2 chord, then either to the 7 or the 5 chord, back to the 1. So all of these chords in a key eventually want to go to the tonic, which is the 1 chord. So with this information in mind, we're able to create a program that reflects this. Starting at the top, we have this input function. So what this does is that it prompts the user to input something with their computer. Now, this message allows the user to know what exactly to input. For here, it tells the user to either input 3, 6, 2, 4, 5, or 1. So these are just Roman numerals representing certain chords. So this is the variable that represents whatever the user inputs. So think of algebra. So in algebra, we learned that x can be in place of a number. So you can do x equals 5, x equals 7, x equals 1, etc., etc. Programming languages work a similar way. So we can assign a variable to any value. And in this case, the value would be the chord that the user inputs. So then we have a bunch of if statements. So these are conditional statements that if whatever this condition is true, then the computer executes whatever is below it. So look at the first one. If starting chord equals 3, then it prints this. So this follows the chart from earlier. So it would go from 3 to 6 to 2 to 5 to 1. So that is a progression that follows the major harmonic chord chart. So what happens if it isn't 3? Well, it goes down. So if starting chord equals 6, it will print 6, 4, 5, 1. If starting chord equals 2, 2, 4, 5, 1, and so on and so forth for other chords. So we're able to expand upon this. Really, the amount of chords you're able to use is countless, essentially. So this is just a very basic thing that could give a new songwriter an idea on how to start a song. So let's test this baby out. So we're going to click the play button right here. And let's say I want to start the chord progression with 2. So I would type 2 on my computer. And then if I click enter, it prints this, 2, 4, 5, 1. So here it is. Here is an example of programming and how you can use programming to fit your music needs and your music technology needs.